Linda Brown, and I've been teaching for 23 years. I teach in southern Utah at Desert Hills High School and also Crimson Cliffs High School. I teach 15 different subjects in information technology and computer science, and I've been using TestOut since 2001. So I've had a lot of experience with it, and I feel like I've kind of come to the spot where I feel like I know what works with it and how it benefits my students most. First of all, how it benefits me, I have found that with teaching that many different subjects, it's really hard, if not impossible, to come up with your own curriculum, your own labs, all those kinds of things for that many different subjects. And so I almost want to say I've had to use it as a crutch at times to be able to help train me in things that I was lacking on. I didn't have to panic because I didn't know how to do something. I could learn along with the kids and facilitate their learning that way, or I could brush up over it ahead of time if I wasn't comfortable with it. And it really made me feel a lot more comfortable with taking on the task of teaching the course. And when I went to take my Security Plus training, I signed up for a boot camp somewhere. It was 4 days of training, and then on the 5th day you were supposed to test. And I thought, I'm never going to be able to pass this test without they're cramming all this stuff in me in 4 days. And so I called TestOut and I said, what can you do to help me? And they gave me access to the Security Plus course, and I would go back into my hotel room after the training, and I would work on it in the evening and go through the labs. And on that 5th day, when everybody had to take their test, I had the second highest score in the group. And I know that it was because of using that TestOut. And so I got firsthand the experience of what a student would have on building my confidence with that, and it made a really big difference for me. Also, being able to take the time to set up labs in your classroom not only takes a lot of money, but a lot of time. And so I've really appreciated the fact that I can expose the students to thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment through the lab sim, and I don't have to simulate that in class with financially or with the time to set up the labs. That's been really nice. So I came from industry into teaching, and so having hands-on activities was really important to me because I wanted the kids to be able to walk the walk. And so I fell in love with the simulator because of that, even in the beginning. And so what I've seen is when I first approached industry professionals about the idea of having internships for my students, they were really apprehensive. There was a lot of concern over, they didn't have time to train people and take time away from their regular activities to train students on how to do things. And I kept promising them that you don't have to worry about that. Leave that to me. I'll make sure the students are trained, and I'll send you great kids. And it just seemed like they were dragging their feet and they didn't want to have interns. And so I got the idea to come up with the idea of videotaping my students doing the simulations, kind of like a screen capture and me kind of quizzing the kids about what they learned. And then I used that videotape as a marketing tool to take it to the Rotary Club and show the business people in the community what my students could do, and they were completely blown away. They were like, really, you're teaching this to high school students? They were just, and then they couldn't sign up fast enough for internships. And so I use it as a carrot too for the students to decide who gets the internships. For example, we've implemented actually a paid internship at our school district for 2 students to get paid during the summer, and they get a pretty high hourly wage for doing it. And so at the beginning of the year, I tell my kids, if you want one of these internships, you've got to really buckle down and do everything I tell you to do all the curriculum, do all the lab sims, and you have to get certified, have to get your PC Pro or your Network Pro. And then once they get certified, then they can see how that benefits them. They have the edge on getting that job, getting that paid internship. And I don't send anybody to an internship unless they've been certified. So I can guarantee to the client that we're sending them to that this student knows what they're doing. And so it's been a terrific opportunity for students, and they've seen a lot of success with they get paid more when they've got their industry certification. They feel confident and they're not afraid to tackle things, and so it's really great. I wanted to stand up and be excited about what I could teach the kids. And I wanted them to look at me as an example of what they could achieve in the future. with knowledge level and with the passion behind technology to make me feel like on the first day of school, I can stand up and be excited about it, and I can make the kids feel like this is where they need to be, and they're glad they invested the time in taking a seat in my classroom and choosing me as an elective class. You know, my course is an elective class, and being able to put the time in. And I feel like I have a big responsibility to them. If they're going to put their faith in me as a teacher, I have a big responsibility to them to show up and be prepared. I teach in a very rural area, and so TestOut has been really, really important. I think a lot of bigger schools use TestOut and that kind of thing, but I want you at TestOut to understand how valuable it's been to me in a rural area. A lot of us in that situation are teaching a lot of different subjects because our schools are too small to be able to have multiple sections of any one course. And so having this resource to be able to fall back on to help us and help train us, I feel like I'm in a constant state of education using TestOut, and they're always right there to revise it as new editions come out and new standards and objectives come out, and it's just been a godsend to me. It really has.